Welcome back to Small Talk, Big Stories. I'm your host, Tom, and today we're diving into the life of the baddest heavyweight in Kent. Lee, welcome to the show.
What's happening? How we doing? You right?
Yeah, very well, mate. I want to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Yes, originally I'm from Swanley in Kent. Obviously, I've moved over to Essex now, so moved to the other side of the water. I've grown up in Swanley all my life, obviously living with my parents. My parents still live there. I had a very good childhood and upbringing. Like, I'm still fortunate my parents are together. They like growing up, I see that they've done everything they can for me to give me the best life possible. And it's a little bit tough to see that at the time, and when you're a bit younger, you're sort of a bit naive to a few things. But yeah, now I'm older, I've sort of seen that everything they've done has been for the best interests of my future. And I had a really good childhood, as I say. A lot of friends, quite a popular young lad, got on with a lot of people. And I was even from young, like I was even a bit of a boy, a bit of a chap from a young age. So
yeah, that's really good. How was like school and stuff like that?
I'll be honest with you, young uns, don't take this as all advice, but I hated school. I hated school. That was me personally. Like, everyone goes, "Oh, I'd love to go back to school." No, not for me. It wasn't for me. I think a lot of it is to do with especially looking back now, I was being taught a lot of the things that I didn't really have an interest in or care about. So I struggled a lot in aspects of that, and like, no disrespect to my school or where I went to school, but nothing really I learned or done in school has got me to where I am today. That's all from like real life experiences. So the school journey wasn't like my best time, but at the end of the day, you've got to go to school, ain't you? So we just got it done.
Yeah. What age did you start combat sports?
So I started, I left school and I started an apprenticeship, and then I started when I was probably about 19.
Okay.
So like how I sort of got into that was I had a lad that I worked with, Steve, and I worked with him, and he kept coming in. "Oh, please come to the gym with me. Come to this boxing gym." And like, as I say, like, it weren't a bit of me. I was a bit like, because you do sort of get this aspect of there's going to be bullies in there. There's going to be people in there that just want to bash you up and blah blah blah. Anyway, he pulled my leg that much. I was like, "Do you know what? Like, let's go and give it a go." Like, I was training a bit of weights gym at the time, so I thought, if anything, it's a good bit of cardio, a little something to do. So I went with him, and like, the journey started from there. I ain't gonna lie. I went into the gym. I had my first session, and within it must have been 6-8 weeks of actually like starting, like, I got offered a fight, and I was like,
"Oh wow,
like, yeah, let's do it." And back then, there was a show called WCMMA. They actually had like a professional version of the same show called UCMMA, and it was actually on Sky. So to be given that opportunity, like, to go and fight there.
Yeah, I bet it felt massive at the time.
Honestly, like, even to this day, like, it makes my hair stand up. Like, I'll never forget the day
Exciting.
I had my first walkout, like, and I stood there, and it was like in the Troxy. I don't know if you or anyone's ever been to the Troxy, but they have like this like walkway all the way down, and I'm stood there like ready to go, and I'm nervous. Like, I've got all the feelings that I still get to this day, but I'm there. And these doors opened, and then my music's playing, and I'm walking down, and like, I think I sold about 20 tickets, but I've got all of my people standing either side, and they're all touching me, shouting like my name. It was a crazy feeling. And I went in there and I won the fight in, I think it was like 32 seconds or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And I was hooked. Like, I was hooked from then onwards. Like, just that whole feeling and experience of going down there and getting in there and achieving that. Like, it was mad. Like, and it all happened so quick. I was like, I want to do it again. Like, I want to do it again.
Instantly hooked.
Yeah. So that was actually a K1 fight that I'd done. So K1 is just like, it's basically kickboxing for people that don't know. Like, but there's a few different rules that you can do, one knee in the clinch, blah blah blah. But it's basically kickboxing. And then I went away from that, and I started up doing MMA. Like, I was just fluttering between it in the gym that I was training at the time. They had some classes and some sessions, and I was like, yeah, like, I'll have it. And then again, like, I sort of fell in love with that, but I'll be real with you, and people that do MMA know exactly what I'm on about here. Like, MMA isn't something that you learn overnight. MMA isn't something that you
No,
learn
I've done
year.
a few
Like,
jiu-jitsu classes, and
yeah,
it's not easy.
it takes its time. And then I went on to actually have an MMA fight, same show, same promotion. I actually lost this fight to a fella called Herbie, but going in there and watching the fight back, we predominantly just boxed and kicked each other. So like, I was thinking, like, is MMA really for me? Like, I like to stand and bang. And there's a bit of a funny story with Herbie. So he actually went on to become heavyweight champion, and obviously he beat me in the second fight. We become very good friends. We still talk now every now and again, to be fair.
Nice.
But when he had his heavyweight title fight, I was down in the cage, and I actually lifted him up onto the cage. Like, once he'd won it, yeah, that's what like the combat scene's all about. And as I say, so everyone gets this perception of bullies, horrible people. And don't get me wrong, you might come across the odd one, but all in all, like, I've met some of my best pals that I'm friends with now through like boxing gyms and that. And it's just such a good thing to get into, because when you go into any fighting gym, boxing gym, kickboxing gym, whatever it may be, like, you have people from different ethnicities. You have people that do different jobs. You'll have like a police officer training with a drug dealer. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And like, but all of that's forgotten about. As soon as you get in that gym, all of that's forgotten about.
Yeah.
You're in there, you're helping each other train. Most of the time punching the shite out of each other, but you come out of there and it's the best feeling ever.
So, have you ever stepped into a gym that has had like a really bad chemistry, like a bad vibe, or have they always been a good vibe?
Honestly, like, even to this day, like, now I've sort of got myself out there a little bit. Like, as you know, I got invited down to Hastings. Obviously, I'm in Essex. Hastings is about 50, 60 miles from here. Got asked from a guy that was fighting someone that I knew if I can go all the way down there to do some sparring with him. So, like, again, the answer to your question is no. I've never gone into any gym that I've been into and had like a bad atmosphere or a bad vibe. You get in there, everyone's like spudding you, like, "You all right, mate? How we doing?" Blah blah blah. And then, as I say, like, the minute you start training together, whether that be combinations or whether that be sparring, at the end of that session, you're like best pals. You're having a conversation with each other like you've known each other for years. So I would definitely recommend that anyone that was ever thinking of getting into that sport, like, has got a bad perception of it, just go and give it a go, because you'll know.
I think as well, a lot of people think that if you go to a boxing gym, you've got to then go and do fights. You've then got to go and do competitions and all that sort of thing. Were you ever felt pressured to do anything like that, or was it all just something you wanted to do?
Never. Like, I still train with people to this day that have trained for years that have never fought. Like, and this is also what I try and get across to a few of my friends, because they're like, "Oh, I don't know how you get punched in the face." Like, me personally, I love it. I don't know why I love it, but just because you go into a boxing gym doesn't mean you need to get punched in the face. Like, that's why they got boxing bags. That's why they got people that hold pads. That's why. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's ways around it, and once you get punched in the face once, and you start thinking, this ain't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, yeah. And then you get your first bleeding nose, and then your black eyes, and yeah, it all comes.
Oh, that's brilliant. The baddest heavyweight in Kent.
Yeah.
How did you get that name?
So the story behind this, again, shout out to DFC, one of the other promotions that I am fighting on in a couple of weeks. But they sort of, I went and had a fight on one of their shows with a guy called Tarek, one tough motherfucker, honestly, like, serious fighter. And a few people were like ducking in, blah blah blah. I was like, look, I'll take the fight. I'll have the fight. Went in there, and again, I lost. I don't lose all my fights, obviously. These are the few that I have lost. But yeah, he beat me, but we had an absolute war. And I think what sort of like took their eye to me was not the fact that I'd gone in there and even just had a war, but at like the end of the second round, like, I was finished. Like, I was gassed. I was bashed up, but I still kept coming forward. And this fella's like landing massive shots on me. So yeah, we had that fight out of the way. Then I went on there to have another fight, and did I go in there and have another fight and win that one, or was it? I went and had a couple more fights. I can't remember if it was on that promotion, but I went and had a couple more fights, and then I started winning. I'm winning.
Yeah.
So now he's got me a fight in Catford, And this is how the name come about. So he had me an opponent, and on the day my opponent pulled out, and he told me that he said he had, I think it was 12 to 15 people that he'd messaged that would that agreed to fight.
Yeah.
But as soon as he said that they was fighting me, they was like,
nah.
nah. And he was like, do you know what? He was like, it's not even just that with you. He's like, you'll show up, you'll fight any man. And I will. And that ain't me trying to be like a big tough I am, because there are many, many people out there that are better than me. And I ain't ever one to not say that. But at the same time, I'll still show up on the day and I'll still give it my absolute everything. And I think that's where a lot of it sort of comes into play. So yeah, that's sort of where that name come about.
You mentioned how many fights you had. What's your current record?
So I've had 20 fights. No, sorry. I've had 19 fights and I've lost 5.
Okay.
So
it's not bad.
Not too bad. I've won a couple of titles. Yeah, as I say, but that's a mixture between I've done K1. I had 2 K1 fights. I had 1 MMA fight, and I've had 3 hybrid boxing fights. And for those that don't know what hybrid boxing is, it's a sort of a newish thing, sort of introduced. But you box in 4-ounce MMA gloves. So the pro UFC fighters. Yeah, I've been in. My face has been in some messes from it. I've actually still got to have a surgery on my nose I broke my nose really badly in one of the fights, and I can't remember what it's called now, but where you breathe up through the bones healed over there, so I can only breathe through one of my nostrils. So yeah, but they basically told me if I have the surgery and then I go back boxing and then re-break it again, there's a good chance I'll have a boxer's nose. So my nose being a bit all over here. So they said to me it's not something that's like a health issue, so I can hold out having it. And so yeah, I'll just wait till I'm about 75 and stop boxing and get it done then.
So you're when you started fighting with these companies, like to these
promotions,
promotions rather. How old was you?
Well, as I say, I had my first fight 6 to 8 weeks in, so I was only like 19, and then I sort of done a stint of it. And I can't think off the top of my head the age I was, but I sort of then had a bit of a break. I got a really bad shoulder injury that needed surgery, and I had surgery, and I was out for probably nearly a year in that, and then I slowly went back to it, and I probably didn't fight until another year after that. So I had about 2 years out where I actually didn't fight. But yeah, look, I'm one of them. I'll fight if the fight's right. Do you know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, and I know all of these promoters, they try their absolute best, but I've had enough of going in there with people that roll over, that you punch them a few times, it's not even 50%, and they're in the deck. I've had enough of getting in there with people that just want like the names of, I'm going in and having a fight. Like I want, and this is why I've got a few losses on my record. Like, I want the best people. I want the best about. I want to, because again, it's shown in a lot of my fights. Like, I perform so much better when I'm fighting someone better. When I'm fighting someone that's not so good, and again, like, everyone starts somewhere, and I get it. But yeah, and also with that, I reckon in the 19 fights I've had, I've probably had at least 9-10 pullouts on the day. That people that have pulled out on the day. And yeah, it's not easy for promoters, and I've seen it all. Like, I'm good friends with some of the promoters, and I see what they go through and how hard they work to make shows as good as they are. But yeah, unfortunately, some people just, they ain't built for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fight because I love fighting. I fight for mental health. I fight for all them sorts of things, where I think a lot of people fight to get paid a few quid. And again, we're not talking good money. We're talking a couple £100. And people that want that thing of posting a fight poster up on Instagram to say, "Oh, look at me, I'm a fighter," an ego boost, exactly that. So, but I genuinely fight because I love fighting. Like, even when I go to the gym and spar, I've got butterflies. I can't wait to get in there. Like, yeah, it's one of them ones.
So if someone pulls out on the day, what goes through your head?
So when it first started happening, it messed my head up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't great because, again, being at a low level myself, I was then thinking, because again, no disrespect to promoters, but 9 times out of 10, especially if it's not a show that you're too familiar with, they're just looking for an opponent. Then they're not looking to see how many fights this guy's had. They're not looking to see
trying to fill the spot.
They're filling the spot. Yeah. So back then it was a little bit like that. But then, as I say, I sort of started getting a bit of a reputation for myself and a bit of a name that not only knowing more people within the unlicensed scene, but with promoters like me saying to them and them knowing that they ain't going to do me wrong like that, because if they do, I won't fight on their show again. And I'm not predominantly a good ticket seller, so this is why all these shows want me on their shows. But yeah, if it can sort of mess with your head, because next 1 minute you've looked at this guy you're fighting, you've seen a few fights he's had, then the next minute you're getting in there and you haven't even seen footage of a geezer you're fighting.
Yeah,
like there was one guy I fought on a show in Croydon, on a show called CFS. Again, very very good show, but we had a pullout, and again, my coach at the time, James Wallace, what a guy that guy is. But anyway, he said to me, look, we've got an opponent, just don't stress about it. But this is what I mean, like, how it can mess with your head. So I've gone in there, and straight away I'm like, this fella's a southpaw. So for those that don't know, a southpaw is an orthodox is left hand forward. Southpaw, you fight. I've never even sparred a southpaw, and straight away now my head's like, like what's going? Don't get me wrong, I beat the guy and I beat him quite convincingly. But they're the sorts of things that like you're sort of put up against, and yeah, it's like. I feel so much for promoters, but at the same time, I feel so much for the people that do generally want to be there and fight.
I know you've got a big fight coming up. How do you prepare for a fight like that?
Yeah, so on December the 7th, I've got a rematch against Jim Swaisland, who actually beat me on DFC to take my heavyweight title. It was a fight that, again, I know there was many wrongs in it. I know my rights I need to do, and I'm going to put it frankly, I got tired, I gassed out. And again, like, this is what I try and say to a lot of people: you can be a good boxer, but if you haven't got the cardio and the tank, you ain't a good boxer. Like, I don't care what no one says. So yeah, fair play to him. He beat me on the night. So yeah, we got the rematch. And preparation wise, so for this fight here, because it was quite a big gap, I went into, I think it was a 10-week training camp. Hard training camp, but because it was not until like 16 weeks after the fight that I'd recently had with him, we sort of put a little fight in between. A fight that I say that we knew we was going to win. We didn't know. You never know you're going to win, but the opponent that was put to us, we knew that on paper I should win, and I did. I went in there, done exactly what I was asked to do. Fair play to my coach, Ernie. He's honestly, I could sit here all day speaking about Ernie. What a man he is. But he, we had a chat, and he was like, look, don't go steaming in there. He was like, you probably know you can finish this guy. If the finish comes up and there's a good little finish there, take it. If not, he was like, you need the round. So that's what we did. That's why if you see any footage of that of the fight, there's a lot of like I sort of go in for a few shots, and then like he's hurt, but then I'm stepping away because I wanted the rounds. So I didn't want the ref just to stop the fight from me, just where I'm smothering him so much. And I needed the rounds. So that's exactly what we done. And then, yeah, once I had that fight, I think it was 4 days rest. I had a bit of a hand injury. I hurt my hand in it. So I just give that a couple of days to sort of sort itself out. And yeah, we went straight back to it. And like right now, currently, I'm running 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm training 5, 6 times a week. So
wow.
Thinking about that, like I'm up at R4 in the morning. I'm down the gym. I'm getting a 4K running. I'm at home, change, work, finish work, home, change, to the gym, doing a session, then home, shower, do it all again the next day. Like
it's pretty packed.
It is full on, and this is what I try and say to a lot of people that like say, oh, like, what does it sort of take to be a fighter? And you think like I'm still a low level unlicensed fighter. Like, again, I know work takes a lot of your time out of it, and these pros haven't got them sorts of things to worry about. But I still envy these pros with just how much work, time, and effort needs to be put into it. Because when you go and watch any fight, you don't see what goes on leading up to that fight. You just see that end product.
Yeah.
Like, I promise you now, that person has sat at home thinking, do I even want to do this anymore? Because you do. Like, I've come home from training before now, and I'm just like, I'm exhausted, like mentally, physically exhausted. And then I'll fall asleep the next day, and I'm like, right, what time am I training today? Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones, but it is very, very tough, and I do appreciate what the pros must do to get to the level that they're at.
With heavyweights, I think people have got like a misconception that you can eat what you want, drink what you want, because obviously you've got to be a bit of a lump to be able to actually fight as a heavyweight. Can you set the record straight with that, with like eating clean, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So the only thing with that is, as a heavyweight, it's in the unlicensed scene. I don't know what it is in the pro scene, but 93 kilos and above. So you haven't really got to make weight. But all that being said, that doesn't mean you can be ploughing crap into your diet or out boozing every weekend, because you ain't going to get no benefits from your training. You've still got to eat clean. And when I say I eat clean, I'm talking that I'm probably 80% clean. Like,
Yeah.
I'll still have a chocolate bar if I want a chocolate bar. Do you know what I mean? As I say, I haven't got to cut weight. But all that being said, my dinner's now, like, my girlfriend Jess, she's spot on. I'm just so fortunate. She's such a good cook. Like, I come home the other day and we've got like this sticky rice with raw tuna and salmon. Like, they're the sorts of dinners I'm having through fight camp, and steaks, a lot of meats, and I'm limiting my food, because you got to also think it's pointless me binge eating throughout the day and then I've got to go and have a session, because all I'm going to want to do is go to sleep when I get home.
Yeah.
So the diet is still very important in terms of how you're fueling your body for what it needs. Because as I just said, I'm training twice a day sometimes, and eating crap's not going to be helping me wanting to train and to get through them sessions.
Plus, if you do actually put any like big amounts of weight on, you got to carry that weight around the ring as well. So.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, I've actually lost 2 stone from the last time I fought Jim. I'm 2 stone lighter, and obviously I'm still a big lump now. And I've had a few people go like, "Oh, like, ain't that going to be a bit of a disadvantage?" I'm like, "Trust me, like, it's not. It's got the reverse effect. Like, my tank's stronger. I'm actually more powerful, more quicker. So, like, being heavy isn't very good for boxing. So yeah, you just got to do the best you can with what you got."
So boxing is not just about wins; it's also about the losses. Can you talk us through like the rise and fall of the high points and the low points?
Yeah, do you know
Through your
what?
career?
Yeah, these can be tough, and this is on both spectrums of it, because it's mad to say, but I have more support and more people messaging me, talking to me when I've lost. Like, when I've had a loss, like, and love to my people, like, and when I've had a loss, I'm gutted, I'm annoyed, I'm like upset. So, like, there's that aspect of it. And then when you win, you're on such a high, and you just go boom, you crash. Like, when I had that last fight, I as I say, I had 4 days off, and I remember my girlfriend was at uni at the time, and I was sitting there on my own, and I wasn't training, and I'm sitting in a room, no telly on or nothing, and I'm just like, what do I do? Like, my head's going, like, I'm having bad thoughts, like, I'm basically, I'm unhappy, like, I'm unhappy, and I've come off of a win.
Yeah.
So, like, it sort of, you've got to find that balance with it, because it's like everything's going at once to nothing, but then when you've had a loss, you've gutted about the loss and all that work you put in, but yet you've got everyone around you trying to support you. So both ways you can still struggle with.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a misconception. People think just because you've won, like you've done it, you've achieved what you need to achieve, and then I understand what you're saying about being on your own.
Yeah.
It must be tough.
Sometimes it is, but this is why I like the boxing's changed my life with a lot of things in mental health related stuff and that. So yeah, it's what keeps me out of trouble, should I say? And I say out of trouble, I'm not in trouble, but like, I don't go down the pub on a weekend and booze. Like, I don't drink, I don't go out and do needless stuff. But then, as I say, when I'm not training, I'm trying to find a fix.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a fix of some sort of
a quick dopamine rush.
Exactly that. So yeah, I've got a lot better, but I've still got a lot of work to do with that side of things.
I think that's a side people don't see. They just see, oh, he's won a fight, because they're just scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. But yeah, that's something to think about, really. As we're on the mental health, I know you've been using your voice for something much bigger, with work and stuff. Can we talk about that? Can you
Yeah,
just run us through the?
yeah. So my main mental health journey started with I struggled myself back in the day. Um, I went through quite a bad patch of life. I lost my job. I say I lost my job. I got laid off. I was gambling a lot. I was out boozing a lot, and I I had nothing. Like I had not a penny. Like I was I was like again I'd gone through all of this like good stuff from a young age to them feeling like a failure. Like I
Mm,
was failing not only myself but my family, my friends, and I felt worthless. Like I felt real bad. And yeah, like thankfully I had some good people around me at the time. They pulled me through it. And again, this is big up to my family, my mum and dad, and that. Like they was there for me as well. And then the mental health thing got bigger for me because what I was talking about earlier with my friend Steve that um, kept going on at me about going to the gym. He ended up taking his own life through mental health, and that there was like a big it for me because not only have I lost a friend, but then I'm sat there and I'm thinking like I had people around me like we did drift apart a little bit, and that was nothing like through anything than life changing. So, but then I'm there like thinking, oh, if I'd have messaged him, if I'd have done, but I wasn't aware he was suffering. It was a big shock and out the blue. So yeah, I received that news, and it was a massive blow to me, big blow. And then I sort of started looking at mental health like with trying to help others. Like I had my help, I had my time. Like what can I do now? And at my work, we're quite big on the whole mental health thing and that because I work in a male predominantly work area. There are a lot of females there as well, but it's predominantly males. And like as men at ourselves, we know like, and I know females go through it as well, but I'm more sticking to the men's side of it in a minute. But we go through so much, and we just keep going. Like
yeah.
we don't want to talk about things. We
No.
don't want to open up.
It's easier to shut it out sometimes.
100%. And I done it a lot when I was struggling before I actually opened up. And it's true, like with the mental health thing, and this is what I try and tell a lot of people, try and help someone with mental health doesn't mean you've got to fix their problem. Just talking to somebody knowing they've got somebody listening to them, someone that can just offload. And then like what I personally do is if somebody comes with me with a problem, especially one that I can't fix, because look, we can't fix everybody's problems, but I can then go away and see what help I can sort of get them people from
Yeah.
professionals, like people that know what they're doing in that sort of field. Yeah, sorry, I went off the topic with work. So yeah, with work, with all of that happens, they was asking for like mental health ambassadors, first aiders to come on board. And with everything of that, I thought, you know what, like I want to do that. I want to be that person. And yeah, I went on. I've done a course, and again, like you're told all of this stuff and bits and pieces, and you're not told that you've got to fix somebody's problem. You're told like you're there to help somebody's problem. And I think at the start, a lot of people were, because they thought I was this big, tough, fighting person, that I weren't really someone that they could talk to. But a couple of people started like opening up to me and realised that, like, and again, it's not just for my work. Like, I genuinely care about people and
Mm.
how they feel. And I think once a few people had like seen and heard that like I was like that, they was like, do you know what? Like, I'm going to open up to Lee. And yeah, like, I say quite a few, but I had a few people ringing me with like just wanting a chat and things
Yeah.
that they're going through in life. And honestly, like it's a tough old world we live in, and
Mm.
it's so
It is.
tough. And some of the things that some of the poor people are going through and that, like it's yeah, it's tough. It's tough to even hear it. So yeah, I took all of that on board and sort of run with it. And yeah, I've sort of now become, as I say, like a quite a big mental health person at work. That I say happily, and I say that in like the most normal way possible. But I happily deal with people's mental health struggles or want to talk. Like, obviously, I don't want people
No, you don't
talking. Don't want people struggling. But if they are, they know they can reach out to me. That's men, women, managers, operatives. That's everything. Like everyone. Like I'm an ear to people. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been something it's been tough on myself, because a lot of the time, even Jess would say, like, things bother me, like, and I'd sort of take on some of that. But now I've sort of got a little bit better in like knowing that I can't fix everything. So don't be too beat myself up too much when I can't fix somebody's problems. But as long as I've done everything I can to help them and steer them in the direction of probably where they can get the help, then my job's done.
Yeah. If anyone listening right now is going through anything or feeling like they haven't got anyone, have you got any advice?
Yeah, I know it's always the thing that's said, but it generally is like, speak to someone. And if you speak to someone, and again, not everybody in this world is the likes of me, probably the likes of yourself, that will listen and will care. Like, speak to somebody else, speak to family, speak to friends, because I promise you, like, and it's so true. One of the sayings I see was like, I'd rather listen to all your problems than be standing there at your funeral laying flowers on your funeral casket, whatever it was. And I thought to myself, so how true is that? Like,
yeah, so true.
I would so much rather one of my friends like having to keep ringing me up and speaking to me than me standing there when it was too late, thinking, I've got to bury you now and never speak to you again. Like, but yeah, you've got to open up. You've got to speak more, and also keep in mind that it's a journey. Like, when you've got certain struggles, they're not going to be fixed tomorrow. They might not be fixed next week. They might not be fixed at the end of the year. But I promise you, as long as you're 1% better and closer each day to working on fixing whatever you've got going wrong, then you're winning. So you're not going. You're still gonna. I still have my bad days. Like, I ain't. I'll openly speak about it. I still have my days where I sit here and I just think, like, do I want all of this, and like stresses in life? But I think I see a lot of what people are actually going through in life, and I actually sit there sometimes and think, like, is my life really that bad? Like, are my problems really that big?
Yeah.
Because some people, like, some of the stuff they're going through in life is awful. But yeah, just work towards whatever it is you're going
keep
through.
Aiming up.
Just keep looking forward. Don't look back. And again, like, your issue might be focused around addiction or drinking, got a drinking problem, and if it is, and you do have a fall back into a situation, like, don't beat yourself up. Go again. Just make that time better. Make that time the time that you succeed in what you want to succeed in. Because we're all human. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. But at the same time, as I say, you've just got to keep looking forward, and you've got to keep doing the best you can to making yourself better.
Yeah. That was deep, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was really deep.
Oh man, like,
That's really it's nice for someone like yourself to actually be able to be that open and honest and that raw with it.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, people look at you and think, "Oh, he's the big tough guy." Boxes probably hasn't got any feelings, but the reality is we're all still human, and be kind to each other.
Yeah, real talk on that one. As I say, just look out for your friends, and maybe don't even leave it down to them talking to you. If you're sensing that something's wrong, like, you got to talk to them, you got to ask them, and again, they might not open up straight away, because people deal with things in so many different ways. But when you're around somebody a lot, you can sense things. You can sense mood changes and bits and pieces that are going on. And again, it might not even be that they want to open up, but just be there for them. Just know that you are there for them. That if they ever get to that point that they need someone, that you are that someone for them.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Let's look to the future. What is your plans for the next year, 5 years, 10 years? You going to keep fighting after this title shot? What's your goals? What are you aiming towards?
Do you know what? It's a very good question, and I don't actually get asked this a lot. And I know this is probably such a crazy answer, but it generally, hand on my heart, is my main focus. I just want to be happy. I want to be happy, and I want people around me to be happy.
Yeah.
And if the boxing's just the thing that's making me happy, which it does now. Like, again, I've got a reasonably good life. I've got good people around me. I'm doing good things. But all the time that's keeping me happy, I'll keep doing it. The minute it stops making me happy, or something happens that I think I can't do that anymore, is when I'll stop. But I will definitely, and it's been spoken about, if I don't fight, I will do something in and around the sport. I'll maybe start up doing one-to-ones or training, or a bit of mentoring with like the younger kids and that in the gym, because I just know the importance of what it can do for you as a person for being in that gym. It's not just your mental health side of things; it's your discipline, it's your health, your cardio. Do you know what I mean? Like, we live in a world now where kids just want to sit there and be on computers. And
that was actually going to be my next question. Do you think parents should be putting their kids into combat sports or sports in general?
Definitely. As I say, I always had very good manners and bits and pieces growing up, but going into that boxing gym, it made me different. Like, do you know what it made me realize a lot is that you're not as tough as you think you are. It did, for real. I was always a bit, as I said, I was a bit of a chap, even from a younger school time up into the end of my school, and I used to think I was like, I'm a big boy, I'd look after myself. I soon got humbled.
Just a boy, innit?
I soon got humbled. But again, then that made me think, like, I don't need to be a tough guy. Like, being a tough guy doesn't get you friends. If it does get you friends, then you're wrong around the wrong friends. Like,
it's usually through fear.
Exactly that. But just get yourself in there and give it a go. Like, and that's exactly what I done. I got to the point where from my friend kept on at me. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna give it a go, and I gave it a go, and it's changed my life. It has changed my life. You say that, who knows where I could be right now? Do you know what I mean? I might have become an astronaut for all that.
Maybe.
I don't think they would have got a helmet. I don't think they would have got a helmet big enough to go over my head for me to go up to space. No, but I would definitely recommend giving it a go, because even like some of the younger generation that I see in there now, and that, like, these kids are running riot. As soon as that class starts, boom, they're on their bums.
It's that respect, isn't it?
Exactly that. They're on there ready for the class. Then they're up. Then boom, boom, boom. Do you know what I mean? So it definitely, like, shows that it works. It works, because, as I say, that when the class ain't starting, these kids are running riot. I've had gloves flying right past me head and all sorts. But the minute that class starts, boom, everyone's there on the floor, ready to go.
Right, before we wrap things up, have you got a final message to the people listening?
Yeah, my message would be to everyone. I get asked a lot, how do I get so much motivation to train? How do I get the discipline and bits and pieces? For one, you've got to want it. You've got to want to do something. Like, people go to me, oh, I really want to start the gym, but I just don't get time. I don't want to hear you ain't got time. Like, as I said, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning to go running. Make time. And I get people who've got kids, families, but guess what? Your TV's got YouTube on it. They got YouTube workouts on it. Get downstairs early in the morning, get something on there. And I promise you, it will change your mentality to things. You just, the way I look at things, again, and I know it's such a known said thing, but I do generally see this, like, I just try and be 1% better every day. 1% better every day. That's all I look to be. And me not turning up for training, I've lost percentages. Like, I need to be there. And again, I know it's a bit easier for me because I've got the fights that I'm training for. But even when I'm not, like, I'm still quite active. I still make sure I do things. Yeah. Stop talking about doing things and just do them. Give them a go.
I think also it doesn't have to just be exercise either. No, it can be anything that you love.
100%. But any you could enjoy painting. Give it a go. Start it, because if you don't start it, I promise you now, in 3 years' time, you'll look back and you'll think, I wish I started it. Do you know what? So, all this being said, I was thinking about this morning, actually. I wasn't thinking about it because I thought, oh, you might ask a question about it. It generally just popped into my head. I woke up this morning, and I did not want to train. Like, I was knackered. My body was exhausted. And sometimes you have to listen to your body, but I was like, nope, like, I'm doing so well at the minute. Get in there. Went into that gym. I'd done a session and I come out. And I sat there and I thought to myself, I've never gone to the gym when I didn't want to and not walked out and felt good, but I felt bad for not going to the gym. Just see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, so you've just the hardest part of anything
is getting off your ass.
Is going. That's the hardest thing. The training and that, yeah, it's tough at the time, but I promise you, it's all worth it. Your endorphins when you're up. So yeah, if you want to do something, get out and just do it. Stop talking about it, because life's short, life's precious. You don't want to be sat there in the same seat in 3, 5, 10 years time wishing you tried something. Just try it. That's what you got to do, haven't you?
Yeah.
You got to just got to get up and try it. And yeah, many people will fail. I failed in things that I've wanted to try, but you either go again or you look for something new to do.
Yeah, I agree, because even with doing this, obviously you're like my third or fourth guest. Everyone thinks I'm mental. They're like, what are you doing that for? I'm like, you've got to do something.
100%.
And getting out your comfort zone as well. I think trying something that you've never done before is like, yeah, if you actually do it, that accomplishment feeling is something else.
Yeah, exactly that. And as I say, like, even from just like seeing some of your older stuff to now, like, do you know what I mean? You look like you look like you're more switched on for it. And,
yeah, 100%.
Like, look at today. You've finished work. You've travelled however many miles, and now you've got 60 miles to travel back just to get this in. So you're putting in that work, and with effort comes reward. So. I'm sure I'll be seeing myself with 10 million views in.
Let's hope, mate.
On one of your first podcasts that you've done.
Right. If people want to follow your journey, where can they find you on social media?
So I mainly use Instagram. It's Lee_Cook29. But I am also on TikTok. I do post a lot of training bits and pieces up on there. I've gone a little bit quiet on there at the minute because that's just what you sort of do when you've got serious fights coming up. But that's Lee_Cook29. Just go and check me out. And if you drop me a follow, 9 times out of 10, I'll follow you back. But if you message me and say that you followed me from Tom's thing, I will 100% follow you back.
Well, brilliant. Well, I want to say a massive thanks for today. Really appreciate it. I wish you all the luck in the world for your upcoming fights, and just in life in general. You genuinely are one of the nicest blokes and the hardest blokes in Kent. So yeah, I really appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, and fair play. Like, I think also doing things like this is very good, because people can speak about their journeys and what they've been through, and other people might be able to relate to it. And if we can help one person, we've done something good.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Thank you.
Nice one, brother.
Sweet.
Take care. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you on the next one.
Let's get it.